Aloha snack bar, everyone. It's the one, the only, the real majestic ape, the Senor Silverback himself, joined with the master of the flux capacitor, the sidekick extraordinaire, the man known as CJ, the denizen of the airwaves. And we're back with another Rogue Money Mornings, where we break down the news, the views, and the important information that's important to you. With that being said, guys, you can follow us on Twitter at The Rogue Money. Check us out on Facebook at Rogue Money, as well as roguemoney.net, the actual website where it's all happening, where it's all going on. With that being said, CJ, what's happening, bro? What's the latest?
And okay, there we go. Nope, I'm off mute. Yeah, just a lot of different information coming at us right now, just in terms of the economy, the geopolitical aspect of it, but yeah, so lots of stuff to keep our eye on, and just kind of bouncing back and forth a little bit. You and Dex did an awesome job on yesterday's show. It was just completely live, going at it, banging out some real hard truth. So some great stuff.
Yeah, man. No, it was great. I mean, speaking of Dex, I mean, let's just talk about, I love what he called the Illuminati Index. He was spot on, because it seems as if Wall Street is pouring money back into shale oil, man. I mean, is that the next bubble? What are they doing, bro? I mean, this is what Dex spoke about yesterday on the Trading Trader Dome about the Illuminati Index.
Right. Yeah. So we see where they're investing tons of money that's coming in. JP Morgan, several of these other financial institutions are rolling, money back into Wall Street's rolling money back into the shale industry. So they're claiming that, oh yeah, they're a lot more efficient now, everything else, but are they truly just propping up that particular industry sector just because of the last several years has been challenging for them?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's very well possible. I mean, there's going to be a lot of disruptions if what happens in the Middle East goes into a much more wider span. So moving into oil stocks, right? At the same time that all this saber rattling is going on, is something to be mindful of. It's something to watch. Are they propping up the bubble? Are they trying to just do a bucket brigade on the Titanic, on this boat that's just taking on water? Are they trying to do that? Are they just trying to bail out this boat that's sinking so fast? Or are they pre-positioning themselves with all this war rhetoric that's going on globally?
Boom.
It's something to watch. It is definitely something to watch, because when you look at the energy sector, the defense sector, and every other sector that these guys like to play in, and I'm talking about these elitists like to play in, they're all humming. They're all alive and active right now, CJ.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of going back to the George, W. Bush era, where, oil traditionally always did well through any, Republican administration, primarily because of the amount of anxiety regarding, war and, what's happening in the Middle East, and any little scare, what happens, the gas stations are out there the next day, raising their gas prices to $4 and $5 a gallon.
Yeah, absolutely. Which sucks for us, and it sucks for anybody who's, especially truck companies, logistic companies, who actually have to move product, and that's when you start seeing the cost in products start going up.
Right, definitely. But yeah, it's definitely something keep our eye on, and then as well, the Saudis are getting ready to do their IPO and bring their largest oil refinery online to try to get some more money. We speak about this a lot in terms of the Saudis drying up and the oil and their revenue. And I believe the last estimate by the CIA was that their income in terms of the social, taking care of their people, all their revenue as far as a country is driven off of oil. I think it's like 75 or even 85%. It's way up there.
Yeah,
that's all they do.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So, what else is going on, man? What else is on your radar?
Something we always talk about, V, that just is a little bit, concerning, just in regards to, Trump and his family dealings. And it's something that we encourage more, just so that, we like the Trump kids. We have no problem with it. However, when you take a look at some of any information that comes out regarding any of their business dealings, it always comes into question. and now we're hearing a little bit of noise regarding Ivanka, the recent visit by Xi Jinping, and primarily that particular same day that her company happened to get 3 or 4 patents, exclusive patents from China that same day. So was that a phone call or what was that?
Here's the thing, man. There is some serious problems here. Okay. There's some serious problems here. Number one, you got to understand that, you look at Kushner. Who is this kid? You and I have done the expose par excellence on this guy, probably the best one out there that really hammers everything home. Everybody, I've heard so many exposés on Kushner, and it was just like so empty. And he did this. Okay, what's the details? It's just fluff pieces. What we've done is we've practically exposed the guy. The fact is of the matter also, just to make matters worse, bro, he's hired the same publicist for himself and Ivanka, the same publicist that Hillary Clinton is friends with and has hired before. It's the same network. It's the same people. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like really, there's no other talented publicists out there. You gotta, get these 2 publicists out there, these publicity stars. Okay, I mean, come on. So that's number one. The second thing is, again, you need to understand, like, okay, is that a coincidence that President Xi just shows up and all of a sudden you start getting patents for certain products or this, that, and the other? Look, Steve Pasenik said it best. Kushner himself is a compromised individual. Now, and where do you draw the line? And this goes to both of them. Where do you draw the line between personal and private interests and what's going on and what you're supposed to be doing for public service? You're supposedly, at this point, a sworn-in federal employee, right? That's right. What you supposedly are. But you have to, think for a second, all right? Like what the hell's going on here? What the hell's going on here? Like, are we being gamed again? Are we being conned again? Because when I say conflict of interest, this is a serious conflict of interest. He should have never brought his kids in. Well, I don't trust anybody else. Well, then you need to find people that you can trust. Okay? You need to find people. I mean, that is, after all, why you have a cabinet. And what's happening? Most of his cabinet can't get approved. And the people that are coming in are the globals are coming in, and they're pushing out the nationalists. And we're seeing that everywhere. Dude, his whole economic team, which used to be, a good amount of nationalistic people that are on there, that are pro-America and America first, are now being pushed out. So these things are concerning, and that's why we at Rogue Money, we are monitoring these things unabashedly and unbiasedly. And when he starts doing it right, hey, we're going to cheer. We're going to be like, yo, that's awesome. But here's the problem, bro. Kushner has a $250 million line of credit with George Soros. Okay? And right. Kushner and his brother, Josh, started a company called Cadre. And Cadre was funded by that $250 million from Soros. And you and I both know George Soros, man. He's just not going to just give you money like that, okay? Because he's a nice guy and he expects nothing in return. No, he's giving you money like that because he knows he could leverage you, because you're compromised, because he's got you by the balls, okay? That's the kind of person George Soros is. That's number one. Number two, okay, for Soros to give you that much money shows me right away that you're buddy-buddy with Soros. You're an insider pal with Soros. Okay? So this is what I said, CJ, earlier on, back about a month ago, right after, just for a few days after the inauguration. I said I wanted to see arrests. If here we are a year later and George Soros is walking around free and there's no, stainless steel bracelets on Hillary Clinton, then we've been had. I mean, like, what's the latest on what's going on with Susan Rice, bro?
Well, again, it's just a bag of mixed messaging. It's, first, yeah, she's going to have to testify. Next, she's not going to have to because she was cleared under some other thing. And again, it's just they put up this front like something's going to happen, almost as a tease, right? Nothing ever happens. Hillary is free to do whatever she likes to. The DNC that rigged an election is free to do whatever they want to. The IRS, and in fact, the IRS chief under Lois Lerner, I can't remember the gentleman's name, he's still in position even after he's still in position. I mean, we just see it over and over. And as much as I want to believe, as eventually you fall back to that gut instinct that tells you something's wrong here. And that's what I just keep falling back to. And the stories that continue to come out continue to back that.
Yeah, absolutely. And until I see evidence proving the contrary, this is the only thing that we have to go on. And here's the other thing, man. Wasn't it discovered recently about what information that Comey and Obama was going after? We're going based on?
Yeah, it broke out that they had used that dossier from that British official that said that basically that Trump had engaged when doing golden showers with Russian prostitutes, and basically a complete fabricated that they knew in fact that it wasn't true, but they used that the Obama and Comey used that as reasons to go ahead and go to the FISA and get the unmasking on Donald Trump and the associates.
There you go. That's criminal, right? So this is what I'm trying to tell the audience. Every turn of the spade, you're basically having situations that are gift wrapped to you. Okay, Hillary Clinton's practically gift wrapped, under my book. There's a lot there. There's a lot there, and like he said in Darnley Campaign Trail, there's a lot there that a good lawyer could have a good time with. Okay, Susan Rice, gift wrapped and handed over. And I was thinking to myself, watching this whole entire thing, I was like, okay, surely this is definitely going to happen. Surely they're going to prosecute this wench. Surely it's all coming down. Crickets. Comey and Obama work, and it's come out that they've used a faulty dossier by a British IMF guy, MI5 guy, who is an absolute train wreck, completely discredited, false information as the pretext to get a legitimate visa. I mean, you want to talk about a disaster. If anybody were to probe this, if you had any attorney, any legal person who had the cojones and the backbone, could have a field day with this, CJ. Right? They could have a field day with this.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I'd be screaming bloody murder from the rooftops. Right? And I would be like, hey, this is my chance to destroy my political opponents. This is my chance to destroy these globalists. This is my chance to take out the establishment. This is my chance to drain the swamp. But here we are. We're in April, going into May. The swamp is still pretty active, bro.
Yeah, and he has Jeff Sessions in place. It'd be easy for Jeff Sessions to, put a little bit of influence on Congress and in terms of the oversight committee to say, listen, I'm perfectly willing to go ahead and assign a special prosecutor, to this. And since I was part of the campaign during that time period, go ahead and remove myself from the equation, which would be a lot more transparent of anything that Obama ever did in his years in office.
Absolutely. 1000% correct, man.
You have Bubba meeting Loretta Lynch on the tarmac while Hillary was under investigation, which is completely unethical. There's just so much. It's all out there, and it's not a conspiracy theory. That's the thing. This isn't conspiracy. It's a matter that these are facts. There's witnesses. There's people that were directly involved. We have the House. We have the Senate. We have the AG. All these things in place, and it's like, okay, what are we waiting on?
I mean, you want to talk about a perfect lineup? where everything's set up and it's basically set up for you to knock it down. It's perfectly set up for you to knock it down, and nothing happens. Nothing happens. I'm sitting here. I'm just like, okay, what's going on here? What's going on here? We're seeing the same lies, the same tired playbook on Syria, the same tired playbook that we've seen used again and again in Iraq, in Libya, in Ukraine, and everywhere in the world. Okay, the same tired playbook. I mean, we want to talk about trigger points. I mean, dude, I'll be honest with you. It was, and again, this is from sources. The only Kim Jong-un's missile blew up because of the Russians. Okay, the Russians preempted the globalists. You got to understand what was happening at that moment. Like, you and I were detailing this to the buildup to this whole entire flotilla that was in the Korean Peninsula. That we detail, and I specifically said, hey, every year at the year anniversary, these people always shoot off a missile, or they set off a nuke, or they do something. Okay, and the U.S. purposely shows up right off the territorial waters of North Korea and says, if you fire a missile or anything, we'll see that as a provocation for war, knowing full well this is what these idiots do every year, year in, year out. And the biggest threat to North Korea is the biggest threat to its own population. Okay, so they're doing this, knowing full well that the Koreans every year set off the same missiles, blow up a nuke, whatever. So this is the pretext, because they understand the average American doesn't understand this. They understand the average person doesn't understand this. So here comes this missile launch, and then mysteriously the thing just blows up. It was hit by a Russian weapon. The Russians knew that these idiots were going to try and start World War III. And they took that away from them. Putin, again, took that away from them. Okay, so what is happening? And now 2 more aircraft carriers are being sent to North Korea. What strategic significance does North Korea have? Dude, all you got to do is tell China to stop, shipments and trade with North Korea, and then just like the 3 or 4 nations that trade with North Korea to stop the trades, or and it's over. This is a hermit kingdom where 99% of its people are starving to death anyway. They don't have no stomach to fight. It will implode on itself. Okay, these people would overpower the regime. They hate the regime. They hate their miserable existence, but they're fed this propaganda.